Folks, we're going to war. If you haven't taken the time to do so otherwise, now would be a good opportunity to start doing whatever exercises are necessary for you to fit your head between your legs so you can kiss your ass goodbye. Maybe Kegels, I don't know. Just stretch it out, some yoga, down dog, whatever. Folks, the threat of nuclear conflict has never truly disappeared since the dawn of the nuclear age. As human beings living in a society, it's become necessary for us psychologically to bury our heads in the sand about the matter, especially since the end of the Cold War, so that we can sleep at night. But that doesn't really mean, jack the day some happy asshole mashes his finger down on the button, does it? Now, mutually assured destruction sounds like the aging phrase from a bygone era, but it's never not been the case ever since opposing factions of mankind started stockpiling what Robert Oppenheimer once called the destroyer of worlds. And as I said, the fact that we can't take in such an unbelievably huge reality for very long without getting a headache by no means should suggest that it's not a clear and present danger. Let's see how many Tom Clancy references I can cram into this. Now, I can hear what you're asking me. Chad, why? Why are you prophesying doom and gloom from your chair of prophecy today? Well, I'll tell you why. Because even the footloose and fancy-free Biden administration, which ran, if you'll recall, on the idea that maintaining and even building up our nuclear arsenal in the face of an ever-changing geopolitics was a wasteful and stupid idea, even these folks are starting to wake up. The new national defense strategy coming out of the Pentagon suggests that it's going to step right past Biden's pledge that we will only use nuclear warheads to deter or respond to a nuclear attack. Now, the strategy is to deter not only nuclear attack, but also a narrow range of other high-consequence strategic-level attacks. Now, in case anyone out there is a little slow on the uptake, let me translate that into English. We are now preparing for the possibility of a nuclear first strike. I don't know if old Joe is hung like his son Hunter or not, but I can guarantee you that the man's got a giant pair of brass balls on him. Pretty sure Jill keeps them in her purse, but nonetheless, he does, he'd trip over them otherwise. But here's the thing, folks. In the hands of a capable, rational administration, I would look at this as a show of force on the world stage at a much-needed time for it. This is even something I would have looked at from a Donald Trump as a positive or at least necessary development. We'll leave aside for the moment that the Russian invasion of Ukraine probably would not have happened if Trump was president. But if it had, this would have been a signal of American strength to Russia as well as China and the rest of the world. And God willing, that's what it'll read as to the world today. It would be good for the world to not assume that the United States is dicking around when it comes to armed conflict, and that to hit us is to waken the proverbial sleeping giant yet again. But when the head of your government is literally sleeping half the time, it could also come off as reactionary and disorganized, which is how I read it. Now, it seems clear that while the Biden administration is aware that we might all be turned into radioactive piles of glass and ash one of these days in the not-too-distant future, they are nevertheless flailing in their attempts to respond. Now, maybe I'm just cynical, but you go back through the Biden presidency thus far and point me to an instance in which foreign policy where he or the administration have done a bang-up job. I'll wait because it doesn't exist. So are we headed for nuclear war? Man, I certainly hope not. I got a bug-out bag. I'm ready to hit the road and become a cannibalistic warlord if I have to, go to Wakanda. I don't know what's up, but I'd rather just keep on being a funny cowboy if the choice is up to me. I don't want to be like Sarah Connor in Terminator, clinging to the chain link fence while the skin melts off of her body. I don't think anybody does. Man, it would take 2 blasts to get all this meat off of me.